your war machine turns against you, why should I care?
The theme of this movie is, and this could even be the title, don't listen to shit. Because not only do you have a dude in here, movie opens up with a dude who don't listen to any of his commanding officers at all.
No. And I mean, I guess he's Air Force, so the discipline is less than the Marines, but still, I was like, come on. You everybody has to tell you, call me sir. Yeah. Don't speak unless you ask the question. Constantly. My man has a reason. The movie opens up with him giving a command to do something, and he says, look, if I do this, it's going to kill more people than it's probably worth. So I get where he's coming from. I'm just saying, but there's a theme that's going on, because once he leaves, we get to, and I don't know why the government would build, a cyborg black dude that don't give a fuck about what you say at all. It's like, why would the government build that? Why would the government build a robotic black man that don't want to hear what you got to say? Well, as far as him being black, they do explain that.
No, and I'll get to that in a little bit. I'll get to a little bit. And even then, I'm just kind of like, well, I don't even explain things too well because that logic is flawed.
I mean, it was one where I was like, all right, I don't have enough evidence to argue against that. I can kind of see where you're coming from. It's a movie. I'll go with it. But there are not nearly enough safeguards going on here.
Yeah. I mean, the whole idea of his creation is we want to make an emotional robot. It's like, no, you don't.
No, you don't.
They address race without this being a movie about race. That's kind of what I liked about this. It's like they ask, or he addresses why he looks like he does. When we say looks like he does, they address why. Well, why didn't they choose a white guy?
You ever wonder why I look like this, Harp?
What? Chiseled cheekbones?
Funny.
Quit bullshit.
Yeah, come on, man.
That's like an improvised line. He's just like, man, come on. I mean, obviously, but come on.
You're like, look, I know I'm pretty as fuck, but you keep messing around.
Why wouldn't they make me a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, all-American varsity Peckerwood?
By the way, he just said to Captain America.
He did Chris Evans. He should have winked at the camera and went, I'm talking to you, Chris.
I could have made that honky right there. Captain America, right? I knew you didn't like his ass. You wrote that line, didn't you?
I just thought it might be robotist.
Oh, you got jokes.
My face conveys neutrality, makes people calm.
Apparently, you ain't met Karen because your face makes Karen anything but calm.
But I could get that being in another country where it's not so, like said, a blue-eyed, blonde hair, stereotypical American.
Yeah, where they pretty much send Captain America in.
Yeah, like he comes in, it's like, oh, okay,
yeah, of course. Then they'd be like, yeah, this is typical America. I mean, we don't like his black ass, but damn, y'all do something different.
How many black people are in Eastern Europe at this point, though? So they're like, I don't even know how to react to you.
They got Africans coming over.
No, you're right. Because of immigration, I know.
There's two ways I'm looking at it. Like, I get it, but the other thing is like, I still don't think like a black person would keep them calm. I think they'd be like, you just like a robo immigrant. Great. Now the immigrants are making like fucking cyborgs.
It's less of that image of this, alternate Aryan coming in and putting their boots on your neck. It's like, okay, you come from America, but you're a downtrodden class also.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
It was one of the few explanations in the movie. One of the, the answers they gave, because a lot of the answers I think throughout this film just feel like it doesn't make any goddamn sense, especially with the emotional thing. But that one actually did work for me. I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
They just, after this scene, they don't do anything with it.
No, they
That's
don't.
right. That's exactly it.
No,
They do
you're
nothing
right.
with
You're
it.
right. There's nothing else about it. But this is the only scene outside of this scene. There's nothing that makes it to where these characters had to be any particular race.
Yeah,
and so it was good that they were like, hey, well, let's cast somebody else.
Yeah, that's why I thought cool. You address race without having to really go into it. But again, these are ideas that I don't know how they would have handled it. I have no ideas on how to really expand on it. But it does feel like, and if you watch the movie, you see what we're saying. It does feel like, well, okay, we mentioned it. Let's move on.
It's all these big things they bring up is just window dressing.
Yeah.
On top of the action. And it's like, this is all interesting stuff, but it's going to go to that generic conclusion because they set it up, especially after the third act.